I don't know if we were able to resolve the technical issues. Was it possible? Okay, so that's unfortunate because it was a very interesting paper on cognitive inertia in the manufacturing sector and resistance to automation. Okay, so the positive. Oh, we have you all with us finally. Oh, fantastic! Just in time. So I will give the floor to you. So the floor is yours, and we look forward to hearing more. Thank you.
The systematic educational deficit. So what is the cognition historical inertia is basically a legacy of mindset that favors continuity over disruption. So they like disruption regardless of the continuity. And the systematic educational deficit, that is basically the training system that fails to give human capital for the digital economy. And fear of redundancy, a deep-seated anxiety in our economy, in our various industries, especially among mid-level workers and managers, that technology may render them obsolete. So it was their thought. An absence of empathic managerial support, leadership models that prioritize efficiency over human adaptability. So this is not basically this abstract concept, they are empirically done. So this is a study therefore, but also the human consciousness and our organizational empathy. It is both an analytical pursuit and a moral imperative. So my second slide, it is motivation of this study, basically based on the why, answer why of this study, and situates research in both local urgency and global transitions. Within our own regional context, digital transformation is embedded not only by the unavailability of the technology, but visible change of the mind, cognitive inertia, educational efficacy, managerial detachment, and these barriers are not merely difficulties, they are structural impediments. We expose the psychological architecture behind resistance to digital change and diagnose how education and training system have underprepared our workforce for cognitive demands of automation or AI or Industry 4.0 tools. The reimagined managerial tools not merely as administrators of the workforce, but as cognitive facilitators, those who use fear, inspire others, and accompany their teams through the transformation. So this is study, this is the seek to convert these understanding into the evidence-based, human-centric strategy to empower workers, de-risk adoption, and anchor technological change in empathy, trust, and competence. So this motivation aligned with the contemporary research in behavioral economics, organizational psychology, and development studies, making it intellectually relevant for the policy, practice, and pedagogy alike. So my third slide, basically that is the object of the study, which is almost the same. Objective of the study deliberately designed to combine empirical rigor and psychological depth and policy applicability, and we turn to quantitative inquiry through structural instruments and close sampling. We measure the impact of educational background, age, cohort, and perceived managerial empathy, digital literacy level, and psychometric indicators of fear, such as fear of replacement, failure, and exposure. These variables were not treated in activity, advice, or interaction. Patterns and synergistic effect, using correlation matrices, equations, and decision tree classifications. Our third and final objective was distributed translation. We sought not merely to theorize, but predict, and by prediction we mean intervention. In essence, we sought to turn data into diagnosis into foresight, and foresight into policy too. My first developed the methodology Our methodology, this architecture is designed not just to reveal but to decode and predict the behavioral complexity embedded in digital resistance across the manufacturing sector. Because I belong to the manufacturing sector, so therefore my focus of the manufacturing sector. To this end, the quantitative design underpinned by the that closely mirrored the demography and psychography of the industrial workforce, particularly in STEM. We calibrated this based on observing distribution and ensuring realistic reliability while maintaining data ethics. The key predictors we fed into our models included age, which is basically reflecting the generational adaptability gaps. So education level, from the second one, which captures the formal capacity to observe digital skills and management support. Of course, this is the third one, and organizational culture very well, that immense psychological ripple effect, digital exposure, the proxy of experience-based digital fluency, and most critically, a quantified matters of psychological fear, rooted in behavioral sciences, capturing anxiety about the automation-induced redundancy. So for analogical rigor, logistic regressions, and correlation and decision tree classification we have adopted. So in my fifth and sixth slide about the results and decisions. Our most interpretable and human readable outcome. The trees who know was none other than digital literacy. This is not merely statistical significance, it is sociologically profound. So I made it very simple and very common to understand. The tree algorithm basically being a critical threshold working scoring 1.5 or below on the digital literacy index when we conduct this survey. And it's almost invariable this with digital tools in contrast. Those scoring above 1.5 demonstrative growing acceptance, signaling a statistical growth in psychological meaningful tipping. And basically, if we think that what does this tell us? That is not age, not even formal education, but hands-on digital skills exposure that decisively modulates resistance. Inertia crumbles when confidence grows. This basically finding a striking confirmation of Mr. Bandhu, social cognitive theory, skill acquisition, reinforcement, self-efficacy, which in turn mitigate fear and catalyze change. The root node governance of digital literacy implies it has the strongest information gain, more than age or education. This challenges the stereotype that older or less formally educated workers are inherently resistant. So my slide number 7 is basically logistic regression. So this precision mechanics of logistic regressions, first the anchor variable, that is digital literacy. The coefficient stands at beta negative 2.13, statistically significant with the p-value of less than 5, which means of every unit increases in digital literacy, the odds of resistance decreases exponentially. The negative coefficient on digital literacy confirms the inverse association, reinforcing the central hypothesis of this study. So increased digital proficiency reduces the psychological and operational friction in adopting new technology. In simpler terms, we can say that each act of digital empowerment, each training session, each skill building intervention is not just an investment in knowledge, it is an insurance policy against resistance. My second observed counterpose of the fear of replacement, that something is saying that if this technology comes and I will be replaced. So with a coefficient of beta positive 1.99, but also the coefficient for fear of replacement not only validates psychometric skills of insecurity, but suggests a latent cultural anxiety and must be addressed through policy messaging, upskilling, and social safety nets. Combined, these two predictors create a dual axis model of persistence. So what are they? They are basic involvement, reduces persistence. So digitally increases access, and number two, anxiety increases resistance. So minimum means of anxiety, minimize the resistance. So this model is not merely statistical, it is diagnostic, it is predictive, it is dominated, tell us what ought to be done, educate, engage, and ensure. So what is needed is not just a policy of tools, but a policy of conditions, transport, communication, transparent communication, and also transportation of the real communication, in particular leadership and forward-looking. The training programs are not luxurious, they are statistically imperative. So my eighth slide, that is again about logistic relations, that is about the management support, a very effective support as an emotional and operational buffer. Employees listen to the psychological safety provided by their leaders with engagement and openness. Our operational analysis reveals significant corruption beta minus 1.99, which is the corruption beta 9.2 means that in building management support dramatically reduce odds of resistance, including other factors constant. It confirms management is not just a facilitator, but an intervention, direction, and emphatic and proactive leadership play a statistical and psychological protective role. In return, when a management works with the worker works to change. This is not about the hierarchical memos, it's about relational trust. When leadership support, listen, and leads with the clarity that other field lives. So this model, age is not a problem, lack of inclusion is the problem. We find that the people who has old age or older, they are more responsive to change if they teach or they're given more facility for the training and for new other sort of programming. Significance of the fear of operation negligibly get powerfully expressed protective inertia, biggest defensive behavior, and most quickly under mindset of trust. So fear does not vanish with bandwidth, it vanishes with belonging. So lastly, as we have already discussed, the education has a mixed role. This demands a revolution in education for a serious skills or degrees become the foundation of a workforce development, particularly industries. So we have some limitations that I'm crossing it, and to the final recommendations. That is the policy recommendation. That is National Digital Reskilling Program, which will be launched, a multi-level state subsidized program, and again the behavioral intelligence units within large factories, and third, we recommend that amendment to the labor laws, which was to take the new digitalization policy of Quran Pakistan or digitalized Pakistan has to be more focal. And we recommend digital readiness certificates about 8 employees, that if they can earn this certificate, they will be more protected and they will be more careful. Similarly, digital literacy grants to the SME, the small, medium industries are also very important. So the road to digital success is not paved solely with algorithms, it's paved with trust. So this is my presentation about cognitive inertia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and I believe that all the papers will be available in the
conference proceedings, so you can actually see the details and results of the papers for further interest. We don't have a lot of time left for discussions, but I would like to call, the discussant, please.
So in a limited time, I'll try to explain the key message of the studies and their relevance to the public policy formation. So basically, the study number 1